Hello, so welcomes everyone, welcome back. This is AnthWolf with more Pillars of Eternity, and it has been maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks since I actually did my previous video on this. So I've had a quick look at the journal just to re-familiarise myself with our current activity. Obviously we are in the Brackenbury Sanitarium right now and looking for a leaden key acolyte, or a leaden key agent. The acolyte was the one who gave us this mission, who may be a patient here in, well, the sanitarium itself. We have for some reason there was about four or eight different patients that were mentioned that we read about, and for some reason it's focusing on this Graham individual who is in the North Ward. So it's kind of guiding us already in that direction, that it may be Graham who's the agent. We don't know if this is true or not, but obviously we're just following what the journal is guiding us to. But there's plenty more people in here we can speak to. And we need to gain access to the North Ward, and therefore we need to either speak to this Caedman Azo, who is one of the... what are they called again? Animancers here. The head animancer, AF that's a hard name to pronounce. I probably got it wrong anyway. Has given us permission to enter the sanitarium, which is where we are now, to just find out what the hell's going on, basically.
Keeping an eye out.
So let me just, it's tab to find out. So I might be unfamiliar with the controls again. Okay. So a quick look at our map here. So we haven't really explored too much in the sanitarium just now. I think the last video was running over for a bit. So in addition to this quest, we have the Undying Heritage. Showed me a vision of an ancient tower in a derelict district of Defiance Bay. I think we know about it. I think that's the area in Heritage Hill. I mentioned this previously. I'm just talking to remind myself, basically. And mysterious ruin somewhere in the Deerfoot, which is quite far to the east, I believe. Yes. Okay, that's fine. So, without further ado, let's go exploring, shall we? Which way is north on this map? We don't really have a compass.
Sure.
So, a quick look at my characters again. We're quite close to level 8, actually. We might actually have to do a level, like the back end of this video might be a leveling up episode. Our healths are all looking reasonable, apart from Alof here, who took a little bit of damage. I'm not sure where from. Okay. It's interesting, actually, the previous episode we found out more about Alof's backstory. I was almost at the point of switching him out for Palagina, I believe her name was. And then we found out of his awakening as well.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Ah, this is Caedman Azo, I see.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
That's 7 mechanics that gain access to this. Endurance, what is your mechanics right now? 6. When you level up,
Ourselves.
how do you remember this chest? This one we can gain access to.
I can do that.
Blade of Golem. Said it's a unique light armor. Interesting. Translated to be Wolfheart. Said to be blessed by the Lord of the Hunt himself. A human hunter showing skill with a bow and arrow beyond any before seen caught Gallowayne's attention one day. Proposed a bargain if the hunter could best him in a hunting contest. Gallowayne would present her with armor that would bestow upon her the power of a wolf. Okay, so we've got Caedman Azo here. We will speak to him surely. This looks like some more cells here.
Laying low.
Yes, Azo said you'd make me better soon. Let's pop our head in case there's something we miss in these cells. There's another flesh construct. Oh, that's right. Didn't we read something about... I'm not sure if it was Caedman Azo there, but someone was investigating how to play with one of the creatures we've encountered, the children who lost their souls. Cyclopedia Bestiary. Can I find them again? You probably all know, because you probably came from this previous video. The Witched. Transferring a lost soul into a living body without a question, but they transplanted animals, didn't they? Weaker animal spirits. Someone's been playing with them. I'm not sure if it's Caedman Azo. Yeah, this must be the North Ward then. We'll need a key to gain access. Oh. Keep your distance. Witched in that cell back there. We've had incidents when people get close. So yeah, this might be it might be Caedman Azo who was responsible for it. Interesting. Elementary Glenforthin. I might take that actually. The Deerwood Part 5. The Proliferation of Animancy. Suppose we must go to must talk to Caedman then. See what he's up to. There's a couple of spots of interest in this room we'll have a quick look at first. Something churns and bubbles in this tank. A couple of wires and conduits are shiny. The device is warm to the touch. Do we have any... What was this skill again? Reviving Exhortation. Commands an unconscious ally to get back up, giving a large with temporary spike in endurance. Oh yeah. We did it a couple of times actually to our characters who have died almost immediately after. Didn't we have an interesting set of flail as well now? The Unforgiven one-handed unique flail. Okay, let's see what you have to say. Let's do a quick save. A round-faced balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
Wow. You sounded exactly how I pictured you'd sound. I'd like to gain access to the North Ward. Out of the question. Those patients are in isolation for a reason. Your forehead seems damp all of a sudden. Perhaps I should discuss your insubordination with the head warden.
You smug cretin. How dare you come down here and meddle? You have no idea the importance of my research.
Pulls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger. A growl simmering beneath his breath and a deep scowl compressing his face.
Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
For some reason I just picture him saying, "Inconceivable!" Don't know why, maybe it's a Princess Bride. Avma told me you're not supposed to be doing any more experiments. Yes, well, Avma hasn't done much good for anyone since he had his soul moved into an inanimate object. so I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If animancers all followed the commands of their leaders, where would we be? We'd all be as backward and willfully ignorant as Rheaceres. We would know nothing about life or death, or even ourselves. We'd be lost in the dark with no clue as to why. I never thought I'd find myself in agreement with a statue, but Avmer's felt right about this fellow at least. How easily ambition masquerades as prudence. I bet he's even fooled himself. You toy with things beyond your comprehension. It's dangerous and foolish.
Are you from Rheaceres? Are you Caedman himself, risen to smite me for my heretical belief in learning who I am and why I exist? Please. You are afraid because men have taught you to be afraid. Because they were taught to be afraid. These things are only beyond our comprehension because of the fears of people like you. Who will solve Caedman's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an animancer, or it will be no one at all.
Have you tried your awakenings on other subjects? I have, yes. No point lying about it now that Avon is involved. I asked for volunteers from our patients and a few brave souls came forward. I was very close at one time to a breakthrough. They understood that. They understood their sacrifices would mean something.
Sure.
You could have asked him more things, but... I don't like talking to that guy. Bit of a pompous prick. I know I can be that sometimes, but, you know, I try to tone it down at least. So this is the North Ward. Now, from what I remember from the excerpts, and I probably have put them away somewhere. The Midnight Mine, the Pale Lady. Some of them are going to be violent, so we best be careful. Oh, we can access this one. And this one as well. Ah. This man has a look in his eyes of a hunted animal. At your approach, he staggers backward to the far corner of his cell. Halfway appearing as though he would climb the walls that would get him further away from you. He cries out, a bizarre primal utterance like nothing you've ever heard. I need to ask you some questions. He looks at you blankly. It is unclear whether he understands you or not, but his panic is momentarily subsided. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words that come out are half-formed as though his tongue was cut out. They are impossible for you to discern, if indeed they are words at all. I don't think he can speak anymore. Not in words, at least. This is monstrous. Since we have the option of using our perception, we'll do so. You're afraid. Do certain visitors make you afraid? He looks at you with uncertainty. Slowly and tentatively, he steps closer to the front of his cell, and as he does so, for the first time, you can perceive his soul within your ken. It is misshapen as though maimed by some jagged instrument, and large expanses of it have been gouged out entirely. You feel no barriers of resistance. If you wanted to, you could look further into his soul. Sure. You project outward the maimed soul in front of you, merging with it, its confusion and fear becoming yours as it whisks you into its depths. You are in a cell, A key turns and the door creaks open on neglected hinges. Thoughts come to you in waves, incomplete, broken and fearful. Standing at the door is a rotund, balding man. His upper teeth and pointy nose remind you of a rat. He beckons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else. In your mind is a single word, and the word is no, but it dissolves before it reaches your lips, and you press against the back wall, cornered. You cry out. In darkness you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks into the room carrying a lit candle, its meagre flame casting long shadows across books and machinery. Straps bind your arms and legs. Cold metal circumscribes the crown of your head and the breadth of your chest. The man is sorry. He is in need of raw materials. They dismantled his work and he needs another source. He needs to show them he was right. He thanks you. He then turns a knob and you feel yourself begin to crack from within. And you can feel pieces of you torn away, like having your insides chewed out by a horde of rats. And you are screaming a scream you can barely hear. Another night. Heavy footsteps outside your door, coming for you. You look through a slit in your door. A flesh giant, the artificial being just outside but facing left. Facing the end of the hall. The boy is there. The boy looks with interest at the giant and collapses on the floor like a shed snakeskin. The giant convulses for a moment and then rights itself, turns away and leaves. Graham looks at you, still wide-eyed but somehow more present. He nods at you, then walks back to the end of his cell. The boy at the end of the hall. And he did so to the flesh construct. Interesting.
These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets. Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
I doubt the wealthier citizens have had the same experience. I'm sure they had their share of family members they'd rather forget. But, if all were treated like this, the sanitarium would never survive. What did these patients do to warrant such conditions? You see, conundrum of the answers here that are available. Feel free to pause and look at them yourself. I kind of want to be on the side of the animancers because I like the idea of what they're doing. Some of what they're doing. But then there is always the few in the group that are taken a bit too far. Like this Caedman Azo, for example. I don't think all of them are particularly bad. We'll go with a simple option. There are just as many who come here not cured for their ills, people who would otherwise be cast aside. I hope so. You're probably right, it's just hard to see. Let us be on our way. This place gnaws at the soul. I understand why Khan is upset. I don't blame him. Ulsgrim. A willowy adolescent boy stands in the centre of his cell. Gawkish and stoop-shouldered, he stares straight ahead, the occasional blink his only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. In his state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. You close your eyes and edge forward towards the boy's soul. As you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You are cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath, as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and you feel yourself already plunging into some interminable abyss of thought and memory. You are standing in a cell now, the same cell in the sanitarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the wall, a door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds, and the same stops every time. The misbegotten child of despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You are rushing towards the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it and suppressing it. And contained in this new vessel, you are strong again. You step heavy-footed down corridors, unheeded by the other constructs and scrutinized only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at last to an office piled with books and scrabbled papers and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands on a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle into place again, you are outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd stacked high above you on the tiered seats of an amphitheatre. You are acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy. Unmistakably of a little girl, but this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous, unlike the others. This one has no soul of its own. The man speaks, and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. "Bear witness," he says, and pulls a lever. It shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow, but the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts the entire theatre aglow. He opens a valve, and the glow crawls through a tube along the length of copper wiring that runs into a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and settings and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with a soul. In a moment the machine goes dark and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back at the crowd. "Behold," he says, and there is an obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly you take a plodding step forward, then another, and another. You look up at the man, giving him the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. He looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks, with a volume meant for the crowd. And this is the moment. At the top of your lungs you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, hands outstretched, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, striking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down onto the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panic screams from the crowd, and by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function, and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who could put their faith in animancy now? You are pulled again away from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle at last on a room you have seen before, expansive with a tall device encasing an Adra monolith at its centre. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back into reality, and the near catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising and calculating. There is no mistaking now that it is the soul of the man who caused your awakening that gazes out from that borrowed husk. A watcher. This is the man who was in front of the device, you say? And he can leave the soul of the body? Interesting. Huh. You made me into a watcher. I need you to undo it. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems for that moment he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, then seems to think better of what he has to say, his jaw tightening. I know your look, your hunger. Hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul, it usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backward with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly he slumps forward. Oh hell! Not good. Oh, we have lots of spells. Let us throw all the magic we possibly have right now. What do we have here? Concussive missiles, confusion. No, let's just keep on throwing fireballs. We like fireballs. Meanwhile, let's get some work done. That'll do nicely. Oh, I just set myself on fire. Nice job, idiot. Switch targets. Actually, might as well use the concussive missiles on this construct. Thank you.
Right.
Is he still there? Oh, the animancers are going to be pissed, I just realised. They're really going to be pissed. Interesting, though. Huh. The chain's grown with added weight, crescent bite marks pit the edges of the cloth. This bucket reeks of offal.
Ready, Watcher.
Wonderful. Scroll of binding web. Alof can hold this. Oh, 3 of our characters have gained enough experience to level up. The others, apart from Alof, are all quite close. Oh, great. That's a lot of screaming going on right now. Has he turned everyone in Sanitarium crazy? Oh, hell. Come and get me.
Let's go.
Everyone back off, and then everyone engage. Thankfully, our characters are quite powerful. We've done a lot of side quests here in Defiance Bay, so we're probably a bit too powerful for this area. Well experienced, shall we say. Ah, holy hell. Yeah, I think the golems have killed probably everyone here. We'll investigate. Yeah, looks like everyone might be dead. Azo? Well, you're alive at least. God damn it. What have you done? You've been experimenting on patients against their wills, mangling their souls. I have witnessed it with my own eyes. How could you possibly... Look, it had to be done. Avma and the others, they took everything from me. Everything when I was this close, I had to know. I had to know where I failed and why. Imagine the value if I had succeeded. I had something that would make all those hollow infants into something like a real person. With a few more patrons and a few years' research, who knows? No one has come that close to the legacy. That's why I have to continue. Why I have to risk everything here working in secret. That's why you have to lie to Avma for me. Tell him you've cleared me of all suspicion. I'm gonna expose you for what you are. I don't agree with fucking mangling souls. Screw that.
Then I can't let you get in my way either.
Really? Are you really gonna try this? Oh. Hello. What have you got for me? I am close to a breakthrough. I have found an ample source of essence now, and the vessels have responded positively to infusion with a proxy. Human trials are the next logical course.
Right.
One thing we will do, I don't want to do this too much right now, but Durance, I will level up so I can increase your mechanics. And this is a new talent. Once per encounter. Modifies Holy Radiant, everyone receives less healing. Oh yeah, we've seen this before. We can daze enemies in an area of effect. Sure, we'll take that. We'll give Durance that just so we can open this chest.
I can do that.
Without using any lockpicks. Oh, hello. A unique mace.
Sure.
Any more golems around? Yeah, I figured as much.
Will be there.
I think there was one over here as well. Oh crap. Kinda walked straight into him. Oh crap! The room with the witches. They've escaped. That is so not good. Have they killed everyone else? Hopefully everyone's still alive out here. Oh, great. Well, that's gonna upset some patrons. What were you up to, God? Just standing there. Oh. What the blazes happened down there? You were given permission to ask questions. It's complicated. A patient of yours, Ustgrim, was working for the Leaden Key, only without knowing it. You finish your explanation and Avemite breaks his silence. I have read accounts of people in history who could do what you describe. The accounts are few and brief and never reliable. Some go as far as to suggest that they really are all the same person. If truly such a person is here amongst us plotting our ruin, would I had a body again and could be of some real use in our time of need. I fear what the future may hold for this place. I am grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was a loss of innocent life. We very nearly had another scandal on our hands. What of Azo? What part of his experiments did play in this catastrophe? I confronted him about it, but I was forced to kill him, actually. Such a waste. There are none more gifted working here. In fact, I had hoped to rehabilitate his image, but a mind like his, so full of ideas, leaves little room for patience. I would inquire more into the matter, but in truth you have done this institution a favour. Were his transgressions ever to reach the public, there would be a terrible uproar. I was blind to have trusted him a second time. I trust you will be more cautious in future inquiries.
Good day, stranger.
I suppose we'll leave it there then. So let's get out of the sanitarium. I didn't realise that the Leaden Key agent would actually be the man we encountered previously. Right at the very beginning of the game in, is it Client Lease? Yeah. Oh, quests. So yeah, we've completed The Man Who Waits now. He has the ability to possess those with weak souls, and was using modern patience to influence Caedman Azo's animancer research. So, I suppose this is probably a perfectly good place to end this video. We'll spend a few minutes now just actually going through the leveling process. Feel free to skip ahead if you're not interested. Some people might be, some people may not be. That's perfectly acceptable. And we may briefly do this in the next video when Alof and Sigani also level up. But we'll finish it off here. Let's have a quick look. Probably want a little bit more lore now, actually. A bit more survival. We can't have both. I'll have a bit more lore in case we have any events that come up. I do like this three-headed flail. And we have no class unlocks, but we do have a talent. Modifies faith and conviction. But I think it more deals with any negative influence, any negative reputations we've gained. Which we haven't yet, actually. I think it's cruel and aggressive. And I think they're the two we've avoided responding to. The intensity of the Paladin's faith deepens, granting them increased defensive bonuses, which is always nice. +2 deflection isn't a great deal, but it's better than nothing. And allies within an AoE get +10 deflection. See if there's anything here. I think we've got the +10 deflection run already, but there's one for reflex, one for fortitude, and one for will. Mental defenses, bodily defenses, over various defenses. Cautious attack, minus attack speed, +10 deflection, +12 defense when disengaging, and just a passive +5 deflection. Oh, some music's kicking in. Superior deflection, maybe again. I'm trying to remember if the top ones are the newest ones, or if it's the bottom ones, or it's maybe a mix of the two. All attacks with enemies of low endurance convert some hits into criticals, and those crits do additional damage. Increases the chance to cause an interrupt with any damaging attack. That's pretty good, actually. Interrupting blows may be worthwhile looking at. Is there one, see that there was one particularly against humans. That might be handy, but I wonder if it affects also our shield. We may need a quick save at one point. Maybe next time Balmung actually levels up, we'll quick save beforehand to see if this affects that or not. Three times per rest we can give poisonous strikes. Interesting. I never actually meant to actually keep using the flail for Balmung, but it just seems to work well for him. I'm thinking we may go with interrupting blows. Ada, we've still got your sword sling, one-handed sword, don't we? May need to change that at some point. A little bit more survival for you. May as well. And you are very similar to the Paladin. Trains the character a new defensive strategy, increasing his or her engagement limit by 1. Sure, we'll go with that. It just means that if anyone if he engages someone and then they pull away to go for Alof or Durance, maybe he can get an opportunity attack on them. And Kana here. You have a high law. We might as well keep boosting that since Durance is our stealth guy, and I think Alof is also a high law individual. In fact, let's boost your athletics just slightly. Yeah. Ah, we have a invocation that we can choose for you. We haven't got the level 3 ones just yet. We haven't played with Kana's invocations too much. I should probably spend some time offline messing around with them. Charming enemies. Causes enemies in an area effectively terrified. Amasses stray soul fragments to form 2 will-o-wisps that will fight for the party. Huh, go with that one. Sure. And we can choose a talent for you. We may go with Gunner, actually, because your reload speed with the... I think it's an Obicus that you're equipped with. It's quite slow. Yeah, we'll go with that. Sagoni's gonna level up after we, like, kill one more opponent. Alof, a little bit more, but that's fine. We have another primary storyline quest to actually follow right now. So, as I say, this has been AnthWolf and this has been Pillars of Eternity. I hope you've all enjoyed this return. To you, it may not seem like a return, as I say, I've been quite far ahead in my series. But for me, it has been a couple of weeks, so I was a bit rusty there, but we get into it quite quickly. We'll probably go back to Copper Lane to rest up at the inn first. Actually, there's an inn here as well. We might just use the inn here in Brackenbury. And then we will head up to Heritage Hill to see about the tower there, to see if we can actually gain access to it now. So, I will see you all in the following video. Feel free to comment below if you so desire, like, dislike, obviously comments, whatever you want to do, basically. I say, I'll see you for even further the journey next time. Until then, bye bye.